Hi guys, so we're on to the next chapter of our book. We're reading Geronimo Stilton, The Volcano of Fire. And we're on the chapter, Did Someone Say Thunderhorn? When I woke up, I realized that it was dawn. Professor Longwind had talked all night. I didn't know if I've ever met anyone so long-winded. At that point, I decided I had to interrupt. Time was running out, so I said politely, "Excuse me, Professor, but could you maybe summarize or wrap up things? I need an urgent answer from my friend Thunderhorn." As soon as I said the word Thunderhorn, I covered my mouth, but it was too late. The room fell silent. Professor Longwind stopped talking instantly. His eyes grew wide, and he began to have a coughing fit. When he stopped, he choked out, "Did I just hear that correctly? Did someone just say the name Thunderhorn? Thunderhorn. A split second later, he erupted in tears. Water shot out from the corners of his eyes like a fountain on high speed. I took a step back. Oh, why do I always forget to bring my umbrella on these adventures? Thunderhorn, the only student I was ever able to teach my massive amounts of knowledge to, he wailed, to no one in particular. My lessons were boring. He said he'd rather train with his sword. He said he'd rather climb trees. The owl glared at me. "Now look what you've done. He's going to cry for hours. Didn't anyone warn you not to mention the name Thunderhorn?" he griped. Unfortunately, the professor was within earshot and began to cry even harder. Puddles formed at his feet. I had to think of something fast before we all drowned. "It's okay, Professor," I said, handing him my handkerchief. "My friend, the King of the Elves, told me that he is sorry, and he even wanted to thank you for all the things you taught him." At this, the professor suddenly stopped crying. Gratitude. Gratitude is a very important virtue. It means being thankful to someone who has done something nice for us and expressing our thanks in a kind way. "Really?" he said. "How nice! And now I will give a short lecture on gratitude. So, blah, blah, blah." Before I could stop him, he had launched into another long lecture. I groaned inwardly. At this rate, I'd never get my earthquake answer from the professor. A few minutes later, a grasshopper in a smart coat hopped over to me. "Knight, if you're in a rush to find an answer, I would suggest you try checking out the Talking Library. You can find a ton of answers there. Just be careful," he advised. I was going to ask him why they called it the Talking Library and why I had to be careful, but before I could, he hopped away. When I reached the library, I sighed happily. The room was filled with a familiar scent. So the next chapter is called Read Me, but we're not there yet. I wonder what the familiar scent is he smells in the Talking Library. I guess we'll find out next time. Bye, guys.